What's up, guys? I'm Blue Skittles, and welcome to my 2019 playoff predictions video. In this video, I'll be taking the team that I just think is going to win. I'm going to make a case for both teams and how they can win this game. Then I'm going to pick a winner and explain it. This video will make one fan base happy and upset the rest. So, on to the video. So the first wildcard matchup we have is the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. There are four teams that I think are the most dangerous this playoffs and are teams that I would not want to see in the playoffs. These teams are the Colts, the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Bears. And the Colts might be the most dangerous one. Andrew Luck is on fire. He has 827 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions over his last 3 games. And not to mention that defense has stepped up greatly over the last couple games. Not to mention Marlon Mack having a really great season of his own and being a reliable option for Andrew Luck in the rush game. This team has rallied back from a 1-5 start to go to 10-6 and get the 6th seed in the AFC. And mark my words, they're one of the most dangerous teams in this year's playoffs. For the Texans, that defense is at full strength, and Deshaun Watson has been playing lights out his last couple games, getting 688 total yards and 5 total touchdowns in just his last 2 games. And this defense has allowed just 19 points per game since the Jets game in Week 15. And the Texans have won 4 of their last 6 games, their only losses being to the Colts and Eagles. The Texans enter as 2.5-point home favorites against the Colts, and I think that's going to hold up. I have the Texans winning 27-23. For our next AFC wildcard matchup, we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, these two teams played in Week 16 in Los Angeles, and the Ravens took the win 22-10. Neither quarterback played that well, with Philip Rivers definitely doing worse, throwing 181 yards and 2 picks against the NFL's best defense. Philip Rivers is a dark horse MVP candidate, and Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon are solid running backs. And they've won 5 of their last 6, and their defense has stepped up just a tiny bit. The Chargers defense will definitely have a hard time containing Lamar Jackson in that run game that has been on fire lately. Not to mention their defense is probably the best in the league, other than the Bears. And I don't think Lamar Jackson will be contained by that Chargers defense. And the Ravens are favored by 3 points at home. And I think the Ravens will take it due to sheer defensive dominance and Lamar Jackson not being able to get stopped. Ravens will win 34-28. So now for the NFC side of our wildcard matchups. The first one is the Seahawks at the Cowboys. The Seahawks season has come alive. They started 4-5, but now they're 10-6 and have the 5 seed in the NFC. And Russell Wilson has proved to be an MVP candidate, throwing for 3,448 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 7 picks, along with a 110.9 passer rating. And that defense is still as good as it was with Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, and Earl Thomas. And the Cowboys are looking as good as their 2016 team, in which they went 13-3 and got the number 1 seed. And Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott combined for an insane 5,686 yards and 31 total touchdowns. And the Dallas defense has taken a major step up with Leighton Vander Esch. And I like the Cowboys in this matchup 27-21. And this means the Cowboys will go to New Orleans next week and try to take down the monster that is the Saints. Now for the wildcard matchup that I would want to see the most, the Eagles at the Bears. It is reported that Nick Foles is expected to play in this game. Nick Foles has single-handedly brought the Eagles back to the playoffs from being 6-7 and Carson Wentz getting injured, and Nick Foles has 962 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions over his last few games. And Josh Adams has came out of nowhere to take Jay Ajayi's place. And the Bears' defense is monstrous, allowing just 283 points. Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard has stepped up into a running back sort of role, with Tariq Cohen being the punt returner and Jordan Howard being the main tailback and third down back. Mitch Trubisky has had a bounce-back year, going from 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions to 24 touchdowns and 12 picks and a 95.4 passer rating compared to 2017's 77.5. I think the Bears defense will be able to stop Nick Foles, and Mitch Trubisky will do enough for the Bears to take the win 24-20. So now for the AFC side of the divisional round matchups. First, we have the Ravens at the Chiefs. The Ravens defense is already really good, And since they've already played the Chiefs, they know how Patrick Mahomes likes to play. Lamar Jackson has already ran all over this tire fire of a defense in Kansas City, and there's no reason to say he won't do it again. As for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Mahomes has been playing great all year and is a likely MVP. They've already played the Ravens defense once, and they put up 27 points on them, something that not a lot of other teams have done. This will definitely be a high-scoring matchup, but I think Patrick Mahomes will do just a little bit more than Lamar Jackson, and they will take home the win, ultimately getting their ticket to the AFC Championship, which they will be hosting. Now for the Texans and the Patriots. They already played in Week 1, but that was when both of those teams hadn't really figured out what they were going to do this season. The Patriots ended up taking the win 27-20. This game is in Foxborough, which is one of the hardest places to play in the playoffs. Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans defense has been playing well the last couple games, and we'll see what they can do against Tom Brady and the Patriots. The Patriots have looked solid these past 2 weeks, but that's only because they've been playing the Bills and the Jets at home. They're pretty shaky against good teams. The Patriots are 8-0 when playing in Foxborough, and they get to play in Foxborough this game. I think the Patriots will win this game 31-20, advance to the AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. Now for the NFC side of these divisional round matchups. We have the Bears at the Rams for our first matchup. Once again, the Bears' defense is tenacious, and Mitch Trubisky has been playing well. I think Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard may be able to exploit this Rams defense that was looking pretty good at the start of the season, but have taken a step down since. This time, the Rams will be in the warmth of the Coliseum, and I think Jared Goff and Todd Gurley play really well. Their defense might actually play well this game, and if they do, I can see the Bears losing the game and the Rams prevailing, ultimately getting a trip to the NFC Championship. So, my prediction is I think the Rams will win 30-24. Now for the Cowboys at the Saints. Last time these two teams played, the Cowboys snapped the Saints' huge win streak. And I think the Cowboys might be able to pull off an upset in the Dome. But the Saints have been looking dominant over the past few weeks or games, whatever you want to call them. And the Cowboys, Dak and Zeke, will do fairly well against the Saints defense that, like the Rams, has played progressively worse over the season. So I think the Saints will take it, I say 35-26. Now for the AFC Championship game. This is a matchup of the Patriots and the Chiefs. Both these teams played in Week 6. And the Patriots ended up winning 43-40 after they almost choked the game away, being up 24-9 at half. And after the third quarter, they were only up 27-26. I think the Patriots' run game will be a little bit underwhelming. Even the Chiefs' defense is bad. I just don't see the Patriots' rush attack having a great game with Michelle not having very much playoff experience. And Rex Burkhead only having a year because he was with Cincinnati all those years ago. And the Chiefs they're not a complete team. Their defense, like I just said, might actually do well against Patriots' rush attack. And Patrick Mahomes will have done fairly decent in the game against the Ravens, that's a great defense. With the Patriots, their defense isn't that good. And although the Chiefs' defense is bad, I think they can keep up with Tom Brady. And Patrick Mahomes will ultimately do better than Brady. And the Patriots don't really do much in the playoffs on the road. They've lost, a lot of the times they're on the road, they never get to the Super Bowl. And I think that's going to come to fruition here. I think that the Chiefs are going to win. It's going to be high scoring. How about 41-33 Chiefs? So, this is the NFC Championship that I think a lot of us were predicting around Week 8 or Week 9 whenever the Saints beat the Rams. This is to advance to the Super Bowl and to play the Chiefs. And the Rams last game, they did pretty well, but, they lost, so not good, I guess. But both quarterbacks shredded the defenses, which actually aren't that bad. But, the Saints' defense is just inconsistent. They could allow, 30 points one game, but then, 10 the next. You see that with the example of the Panthers game, they I know the Panthers are bad, and they lost 10 in a row. But I mean, the Saints held them to 9 points, and the Rams, same thing. Their defense is inconsistent. It can be good or it can be bad. And both quarterbacks lit it up in that game, and both of the running backs did average for how good they are, like Kamara and Gurley. Last year they were the front runners for offensive player of the year and MVP. And I just think that Drew Brees is going to be more clutch than Jared Goff in this situation. So I think the Saints are going to take it, let's say, 40-34. So now for the Super Bowl. Chiefs and Saints. This will be one heck of an explosive offensive game. Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees should both throw at least 4 touchdowns, in my opinion. And in about November, I made a prediction that it would be Patriots-Saints, which is pretty close, but ultimately it was wrong. I think the difference here is defense. The Saints' defense obviously is much better than Kansas City, and I think Kansas City might be prepped to play actually, not really. They're not prepped to play like a Hall of Fame quarterback, because the only real quarterback they had to play was Tom Brady, and Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback, but he's not a Hall of Famer yet. And I think just defense is going to make the difference in this game. So I think the New Orleans Saints will be the 2019 Super Bowl champions, winning against the Kansas City Chiefs 31-27.